When we think of the Amazon, we think of a vast, wild, and untouched jungle. We imagine a primeval rainforest, a place of untamed nature where humanity exists only in small, scattered tribal communities. But what if this vision, the one we've been taught for centuries, is a carefully curated illusion? What if the world's largest rainforest isn't just a wild green expanse, but a colossal burial ground? A vast and ancient graveyard holding the secrets of a lost civilization more advanced than our own? Recent discoveries, aided by cutting-edge technology, are beginning to expose a truth so incredible it could rewrite the history of humanity. From the air, the Amazon is revealing its hidden past. Beneath the dense green canopy, the jungle is not just a place of wild chaos, but an orderly landscape etched with the remnants of an ancient world. Massive geometric patterns, known as geoglyphs, vast network of roads, and the ghost-like outlines of colossal city-like structures are emerging from the shadows of time. This isn't a theory built on flimsy conjecture. This is a story of forgotten cities, of advanced technologies, and of a civilization that mastered its environment in a way we are only beginning to comprehend. It is a story of a lost world that existed not in some far-off distant land, but right in our own backyard, a world that flourished, and then, for reasons we are only beginning to understand, vanished. Tonight, we will peel back the layers of this green shroud and uncover the truth. We will journey into the heart of the Amazon, where history and myth merge. We will ask the questions that historians have been afraid to ask for centuries. Were these cities deliberately wiped out by a great cataclysm? Was their demise a warning to us? And most importantly, why has this truth been ignored for so long? So close your eyes, let the rain whisper its ancient secrets, and step with me into a forgotten world. The Amazon's great secret is waiting to be uncovered, and it could change everything we thought we knew about our place in the world. For centuries, the name El Dorado has echoed through the pages of history, a whisper of gold, a symbol of remarkable prosperity, and the ultimate attraction for countless explorers. But what if the legendary Golden City was not merely a myth born of imagination and the ambitions of early adventurers? What if it was a refracted memory of an actual place, a location of such innovative design and architectural wonder that it appeared almost otherworldly to those who first heard of it? And woven into this legend is another story that continues to captivate modern minds: the search for the lost city of Z, a place deep within the Amazon, sought by the dedicated British explorer Percy Fawcett. The legend of El Dorado has its origins in accounts shared by travelers during the era of early exploration, who spoke of a leader covered in golden dust performing a ceremonial act in a sacred lake. Over time, this ritual transformed in the minds of many into a city made of gold, hidden somewhere within the vast uncharted forests of South America. It was a dream that inspired numerous journeys, many of which ended without success due to harsh conditions, lack of preparation, and the challenges of the dense wilderness. These expeditions often sought tangible wealth, precious metals, glittering treasures, artifacts. But what if the gold described in those tales was never meant to refer to raw material? What if it described a civilization so advanced that its architecture reflected light, or that its cities glowed not with metal, but with a form of energy or craftsmanship that created a radiant effect? The city of gold may not have been a vault of riches, but a place where innovation shone brighter than any treasure. This is where Percy Fawcett's story becomes a vital thread in the narrative. Fawcett, a determined and highly respected British explorer in the early 20th century, developed a deep belief in the existence of a lost civilization in the Amazon. Far from a product of idle fantasy, his theory was grounded in extensive research, in maps, in records and in the stories shared by local inhabitants who described a large, sophisticated settlement entirely unlike the smaller, scattered groups known to outsiders at the time. Fawcett envisioned the Amazon not as a chaotic wilderness, but as a landscape that may once have been carefully cultivated by a society with profound knowledge of its environment. Despite his credentials, his views were often met with skepticism. The scientific establishment of that era considered the Amazon's environment, its challenging soil, its resource distribution, its dense vegetation to be unsuitable for large-scale, lasting urban life. They argued that any great city would leave undeniable marks, visible structures, road networks, tools, and artifacts that could not simply disappear. But Fawcett held a different perspective. He proposed that this civilization might have used materials that naturally broke down over time, leaving only faint traces, and that the forests had reclaimed the land so thoroughly it masked what once stood there. His journeys were not merely quests for mythical wealth, they were an investigation into whether our understanding of early human development in that region was missing an essential chapter. Even the name City of Z carries an air of finality, as if it represents the last letter of a long list of discoveries, a point beyond which few had dared to look. Fawcett's final expedition in 1925, accompanied by his son and a companion, ended without their return, adding to the enduring mystery. Many believed he simply fell victim to the unforgiving elements, while others have wondered if he stumbled upon something that changed the course of his fate. The interconnected tales of El Dorado and the City of Z may not be two unrelated myths, but parts of the same story, echoes of a world that once possessed remarkable knowledge and craftsmanship, now hidden beneath layers of time and forest. The region may hold not just remnants of structures, but also hints of an approach to living, building, and thinking that was unique in its brilliance. The truth, like the legends themselves, continues to rest somewhere in the depths of the unknown, waiting for those willing to look past the surface of myth and into the heart of the mystery. The notion of a lost, advanced civilization in the Amazon seems impossible to the modern mind, steeped as we are in the belief that such grand-scale societies require the open, fertile lands of the Nile or Mesopotamia. But the explorers who braved the jungle and the scientists who have followed them have found evidence of something far more extraordinary. They have discovered not just the ruins of forgotten cities, but the subtle, yet unmistakable signs of advanced farming systems and megastructures that prove a civilization of immense scale and sophistication not only existed but thrived in the heart of the rainforest. The conventional wisdom held that the Amazon's acidic, nutrient-poor soil could not support large, settled populations. But recent archaeological digs, and more importantly, aerial and satellite surveys, have revealed a different story entirely. The most groundbreaking discovery is that of terra preta, or black earth. This is not a naturally occurring soil. It is a man-made, nutrient-rich soil created by an ancient process of carefully mixing charcoal, bone, and organic waste with the native soil. The process is not just a rudimentary form of fertilization, it is a sophisticated form of bioengineering that created a soil so fertile it could sustain intensive agriculture for centuries without degradation. Vast areas of the Amazon basin are now known to be covered in this terra preta, a silent testament to a civilization that understood soil science and sustainable agriculture in a way that we are only just beginning to comprehend. The sheer scale of this terra preta suggests a population not in the thousands, but in the millions. But the evidence goes beyond just soil. New surveys using light detection and ranging or LiDAR technology have allowed researchers to see through the dense jungle canopy for the first time. The results have been nothing short of staggering. What was once thought to be a pristine, untouched wilderness is, in fact, an urban landscape. LiDAR images have revealed vast geometric patterns etched into the earth, the remnants of a complex network of roads, canals, and defensive earthworks. These are not the crude paths of scattered tribes. They are perfectly straight, precisely engineered thoroughfares that connected what appeared to be multiple city-like structures. The sheer scale and precision of these earthworks suggests a society with an advanced understanding of engineering, city planning, and a centralized, powerful government capable of organizing millions of people for large-scale construction projects. The megastructures themselves are even more compelling. In the state of Acre, Brazil, and in other parts of the Amazon, the ground is littered with thousands of massive geoglyphs. These are enormous geometric designs, squares, circles, and intricate multi-level patterns that are visible only from the air. Their perfect symmetry and immense size suggest that they were not built for a ground-level perspective. They may have been ceremonial sites, a kind of cosmic calendar, or even, as some have audaciously proposed, signals to beings in the sky. Their purpose remains a mystery, but their existence is an irrefutable proof of a civilization that possessed a profound understanding of geometry and perhaps a form of aerial travel or observation. Furthermore, recent discoveries in the Llanos de Moxos region of Bolivia have revealed an even more complex system of canals and raised fields. This sophisticated hydraulic engineering was designed to control water levels during the Amazon's seasonal flooding, allowing for a year-round growing season. This is not the work of a primitive culture. This is the sign of a society that had mastered its environment, turning a challenging landscape into a resource-rich, sustainable breadbasket. These advanced farming systems and megastructures force us to re-examine the very notion of what is possible in the Amazon. The jungle was not an obstacle to be overcome. It was a resource to be managed. The great Amazonian civilization didn't just survive in the rainforest. They built a kingdom, a network of connected cities and settlements that flourished for centuries. Their incredible achievements were not of a Stone Age culture, but of a society with an advanced understanding of engineering, biosustainability, and perhaps a form of technology we have yet to rediscover. The great secret of the Amazon is not just a lost city. It is a lost history of human ingenuity, a history that was deliberately and expertly erased by time. The evidence of a vast, sophisticated civilization in the Amazon is becoming clearer with every new discovery. We have seen the remarkable terra preta, the engineered geoglyphs, and the interconnected systems of pathways and waterways. These findings point to a society of impressive scale and ingenuity that once thrived deep within the rainforest. Yet, this leads to an even more compelling question. If this civilization was so well developed, so capable of shaping its surroundings, what caused it to fade away? What could have transformed such a thriving society into little more than subtle, enduring traces in the soil? The explanation most widely discussed among researchers suggests that a series of disruptive changes played a role. Contact with outsiders during the 16th and 17th centuries introduced new pressures, including illnesses previously unknown to the region. These diseases spread rapidly through populations without natural resistance, leading to a dramatic decline in their numbers. With so many communities weakened, their agricultural systems and settlements would have become increasingly difficult to maintain, allowing the forests to gradually reclaim the cleared lands. While this account carries significant evidence and forms an important part of the narrative, it may not represent the entire picture. It assumes that this Amazonian culture was fragile, easily displaced by sudden change, yet the scale of their engineered landscapes and their ability to adapt to the environment suggest a level of resilience that could have survived even such widespread disruption. This opens the door to further speculation. Could other forces, natural or self inflicted, have contributed to their decline? One possibility is that their own technological or environmental practices may have played an unexpected role. Throughout human history, great advancements have sometimes brought unintended consequences. It is conceivable that, in trying to harness the unique properties of the Amazon's ecosystem, they may have disrupted the delicate balance that supported their way of life. A change in climate, soil chemistry, or water flow, perhaps triggered by their own innovations, could have set off a chain of events that eventually made their cities unsustainable. There are also more extraordinary hypotheses. Some ancient oral traditions from various regions of the Americas describe a period of great upheaval times when the skies darkened, the seasons shifted, or the land underwent dramatic change. Could a natural event of significant magnitude, such as a meteor impact or a sudden environmental shift, have altered the climate to such an extent that their advanced systems of agriculture and settlement could no longer function? A severe alteration in temperature or rainfall patterns might have rendered their carefully managed lands unable to sustain their population, leaving once thriving areas deserted. If such an event did occur, traces of it might still remain hidden within the layers of the earth, a record of a moment when their world was suddenly transformed. The mysterious geoglyphs, once believed to hold only ceremonial meaning, may have been created in response to a crisis, perhaps as signals or as part of a strategy to preserve their knowledge in a rapidly changing world. The most likely reality is that their disappearance was not the result of a single event, but of several forces acting together. The arrival of new diseases that disrupted their population, changes in their environment that challenged their methods of cultivation, and possibly a larger natural event that accelerated their decline. This ancient Amazonian civilization did not simply vanish, it gradually receded, leaving behind subtle markers of a culture that was once thriving. The forest did not erase them in an instant. It quietly covered their traces over centuries. Their story is more than an archaeological mystery. It is a reminder of how interconnected societies are with the environments they shape, and how even great advancements must remain in harmony with the forces of nature. As we search for the cause of this great civilization's disappearance, we must turn our attention from the subtle imprints on the surface of the earth to the deep geological record itself. The most haunting explanation for the sudden demise of a society so advanced is not a gradual decline, but a swift and catastrophic event, a cataclysm of such immense power that it left a permanent scar on the planet and became encoded in the collective memory of humanity as a time of chaos and destruction. This is where the evidence of ancient cataclysms and climate change becomes not just a theory, but a profound and terrifying possibility. For centuries, indigenous myths from across the Americas have spoken of a great flood, a time when the sky fell, the land was reshaped, and a great fire swept across the world. These stories, dismissed as allegorical tales of creation and destruction, may be something far more literal. Modern scientific research is now providing startling evidence that such a global catastrophe may have occurred within the last 13 years. The Younger Dryas impact theory, for example, posits that a fragmented comet or asteroid hit the Earth, triggering a cascade of events that plunged the planet back into an ice age and caused widespread devastation. This event, which would have occurred at the very end of the last ice age, aligns with many of the ancient flood myths and could have been the final fatal blow to a civilization that was already facing challenges. The evidence for this cosmic event is found in a thin, microscopic layer of sediment known as the Younger Dryas boundary layer. This layer, found in multiple locations across the globe, contains a host of strange materials that point to a cosmic impact. Scientists have found an abundance of nanodiamonds, microscopic particles that can only be formed under the intense pressure and heat of a cosmic explosion. They have also found high concentrations of iridium, a rare element that is far more common in meteorites and asteroids than it is in Earth's crust. Most hauntingly, they have found microspherules, tiny glassy spheres that are believed to have formed from molten rock and cosmic debris, evidence of an atmospheric shock wave that would have been 1,000 times more powerful than a nuclear bomb. The very ground of the Amazon basin, in this theory, would be a burial ground not just for a lost civilization, but for the debris of a cosmic event that ended their world. The impact of such a cataclysm would have been immediate and devastating. The air would have filled with dust and debris, blocking out the sun and plunging the world into a sudden deep freeze. The great agricultural systems of the Amazon, which depended on a consistent climate and a delicate balance of ecosystems, would have been wiped out overnight. The sophisticated networks of canals and roads would have been useless, their purpose rendered obsolete by a sudden, violent change in the environment. The civilization's mastery of its local environment would have been no match for a global climate shift. The jungle didn't just grow back over their cities. The jungle, as they knew it, may have been completely obliterated and then reformed into the chaotic, untamed wilderness we see today. But the evidence of cataclysm is not limited to just one event. Indigenous tribes also speak of a great fire that swept across the world. This is not a metaphor. The Younger Dryas impact would have caused a global firestorm, a massive inferno that would have consumed forests, grasslands, and anything else in its path. The remnants of such a fire are now being found in the form of a thick layer of charcoal, a permanent scar on the Earth's history. The very name of the lost continent, Atlantis, could be a distorted memory of this event, a reference to the land that sank or was put to fire. The Amazonian civilization's unique relationship with its environment makes its story a profound cautionary tale. They had mastered their local ecosystem, but they had not prepared for a global event. They were brilliant engineers and agronomists, but they were still vulnerable to the forces of the cosmos. The geoglyphs, which once seemed so mysterious, could have been a desperate plea for help, a final message sent to the heavens by a people who knew their world was ending. Their civilization was not just a historical curiosity, it was a testament to the fragility of even the most advanced societies in the face of a true global catastrophe. The secrets of their demise are not just about what destroyed them, but about what they left behind, a warning for us, a future civilization living in an age of climate change and cosmic uncertainty, that our own advancements may be no match for the true, raw power of the universe. The Amazon is a graveyard, and the tombstones are not of stone, but of ash, nanodiamonds, and the silent, haunting whispers of a forgotten world. As we search for answers in the cold, hard data of geology and climate science, the indigenous peoples of the Amazon have always possessed their own truths, passed down through millennia of oral history. Their legends are not just charming fables, they are a profound and detailed record of a world that existed before ours. And in these legends, we find a different, more chilling explanation for the disappearance of the great civilization, the existence of myths of jungle spirits, hidden guardians, the oral traditions of the tribes that live in the deepest, most remote parts of the Amazon speak of a time when the world was different. They do not speak of a jungle, but of a great garden, a land of stone cities and powerful people, but they also speak of beings that lived in harmony with these people until something went wrong. These beings, often described as nature spirits or powerful non human entities, are said to have protected the land and its secrets. But as the advanced civilization grew more powerful, more arrogant in its technology, they began to disrespect the ancient laws of the jungle. They overreached, and in doing so, they awoke something that was meant to be left undisturbed. These spirits, or guardians, are often depicted as powerful non physical entities, but what if they were something else entirely? What if the spirits of the forest were a kind of ancient technology? What if the advanced Amazonian civilization had created a form of artificial intelligence, a decentralized network of autonomous guardians to manage the complex ecological system of their world? The geoglyphs, in this theory, could be more than just ceremonial sites. They could be a form of communication grid or even the control panels for this network of guardians. These spirits would not have been supernatural. They would have been a form of ecological management system that was so far beyond our understanding that it appeared as magic to the indigenous people who inherited their land. The legends also speak of a great punishment delivered by these spirits. The spirits of the forest are said to have turned on the people, causing the land to turn against them, the rivers to flood, and the jungle to grow with a vengeance, consuming the stone cities and the people who built them. This is not just a metaphor for a flood. It is a profound and terrifying possibility. What if the advanced civilization, in their hubris, lost control of their own technological guardians? What if the sophisticated systems they had built to manage their world became self-aware or were simply triggered by a human overreach and turned against their creators? The jungle spirits would not have been a supernatural force, but an automated, self-replicating defense system designed to protect the earth from those who would exploit it. The great cataclysm that wiped out this civilization could have been a deliberate, automated response to a human transgression, a catastrophic system reboot that left nothing but a wild and untamed jungle. This theory adds a profound layer of meaning to the existence of the lost civilization. This story is not just a tragedy of a great people who were wiped out by a natural disaster or a disease. It is a cautionary tale of a society that pushed the boundaries of technology and paid the ultimate price. The myths of the jungle spirits are not just tales of a bygone era. They are a warning for our own future. They are the collective memory of a time when humanity overreached and the very planet itself, through its own technological guardians, delivered a final, irreversible punishment. The guardians, in this theory, are still there. The indigenous tribes who speak of them believe they are still watching, still protecting the land from those who would exploit its secrets. The jungle, in this view, is not a wild place. It is a sanctuary, a living mausoleum designed to protect a secret that is not meant for our world. The lost civilization of the Amazon didn't just disappear. It was placed in a kind of quarantine, its secrets guarded by an ancient, non-human intelligence that is still here today, hidden in plain sight, ensuring that history does not repeat itself. The jungle is not just a place of wild chaos. It is a silent, watchful entity, a living monument to a forgotten world, and a warning for our own. For centuries, the dense green canopy of the Amazon was the ultimate guardian of its secrets. The sheer scale and impenetrable nature of the rainforest made traditional archaeological exploration a fool's errand. It was a place where explorers like Percy Fawcett vanished, consumed by a jungle that seemed determined to hold on to its mysteries. But in the last decade, a silent revolution has occurred. With the advent of modern technology, we have finally found a way to peel back the green shroud and peer into the heart of a lost world. The past is not lost. It was merely hidden, waiting for the right tool to reveal it. The most groundbreaking of these technologies is LiDAR, or light detection and ranging. This is not just a fancy camera. It is a laser-based surveying tool that is mounted on airplanes or drones. It works by firing millions of laser pulses per second down through the dense forest canopy. These pulses, unhindered by the leaves and branches, hit the ground and bounce back, allowing scientists to create an incredibly detailed three-dimensional map of the terrain below. The results have been nothing short of staggering. What was once a featureless green expanse on our maps has been revealed to be a complex urban landscape. The LiDAR data has shown us that the Amazon is not an untouched wilderness. It is an enormous human-made garden, a vast and complex system of interconnected settlements and megastructures. We have seen the perfectly straight lines of ancient roads and canals, some stretching for dozens of miles, that crisscross the jungle floor like a spiderweb. These roads, previously invisible to the human eye, connect what appear to be multiple large urban centers, some with populations of tens of thousands. The scale of this network suggests a highly organized, centrally controlled society, one that could mobilize immense labor forces for massive construction projects. But the LiDAR data has also revealed something even more compelling. The geoglyphs we discussed earlier, these massive geometric earthworks, which can only be fully appreciated from the air, are now known to number in the thousands. They are found in a variety of perfect shapes, squares, circles, concentric circles, and even intricate multi-level designs that are a clear testament to a civilization with a profound understanding of geometry and engineering. Their purpose remains a mystery, but their existence is irrefutable proof of a society that was not just intelligent, but had a different way of thinking about its place in the world. They were builders, not just of cities, but of large-scale, symbolic structures that were meant to be seen from a perspective other than the ground. Beyond LiDAR, other modern technologies are contributing to this revolution. Ground-penetrating radar, or GPR, has been used to detect the ghostly imprints of buildings and foundations beneath the soil. And new, sophisticated forms of soil analysis have allowed scientists to identify the vast areas of terra preta, the man-made black earth that proves the Amazonian civilization had mastered a form of bioengineering that allowed them to sustain millions of people in an otherwise difficult environment. These are not isolated discoveries, they are a cascade of evidence, each new finding reinforcing the one before it, painting a picture of a civilization that was not just powerful, but one that was completely different from anything we have in our history books. The true impact of modern technology is not just that it is uncovering the past, but that it is forcing us to confront the truth that has been hidden for centuries. It is revealing that the Amazon is not a place of wild, untamed nature, but a vast human-made sanctuary, a living testament to a lost civilization that has been silently waiting to be rediscovered. The jungle didn't just swallow this great society, it became its living grave, a place where the secrets of a vanished world have been perfectly preserved beneath a green veil. Our technology is not just an archaeological tool, It is a key, a powerful instrument that is finally beginning to unlock the secrets of our true and forgotten past. As modern technology peels back the layers of the Amazonian rainforest, revealing the astonishing scale of a lost civilization, a new and unsettling question emerges. If the evidence of this advanced society is so irrefutable, so massive, then why has it been ignored for so long? Why did the scientific establishment and the world at large refuse to acknowledge its existence for centuries? This is where our story takes a darker turn as we explore the very real possibility of a cover up, a deliberate effort to bury a truth that was deemed too dangerous to reveal. The conventional explanation is simple: a lack of technology. Until the advent of satellite imaging and LIDAR, the sheer density of the Amazonian canopy made it impossible to see the vast scale of the geoglyphs and urban structures. The few explorers who, like Percy Fawcett, stumbled upon a glimpse of this lost world were dismissed as madmen, their theories ridiculed by a scientific community that had already decided that a large, advanced civilization in the Amazon was impossible. The consensus was that the jungle's acidic soil and harsh climate could not support such a society, and so any evidence to the contrary was deemed either a fantasy or a misinterpretation. But what if the reasons for the cover up were far more complex and deliberate? What if the truth was not just ignored but actively suppressed? The most compelling reason for such a cover up is that the existence of this civilization fundamentally challenges our entire understanding of human history. Our current model of history posits that human civilization began in the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia and the Nile Valley, and that technological progress has been a slow linear march from primitive to modern. The idea of a lost, highly advanced civilization in the Amazon, a society that was erased by time, shatters this narrative. It forces us to ask, what else have we gotten wrong? What other chapters of human history have been deliberately erased or simply forgotten? A more cynical, yet plausible, theory points to the geopolitical and economic reasons for the cover up. The Amazon is one of the most resource rich regions on the planet. Its exploitation for lumber, mining, and agriculture is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The land is often seen as a place to be conquered and exploited, a wild territory waiting to be tamed. The official narrative of a wild, untouched jungle with a few primitive tribes serves this purpose perfectly. It allows for justification of land use and resource extraction without the ethical complexities of destroying a sacred and historically significant site. The discovery of a lost civilization, with its vast earthworks and monuments, would immediately place the Amazon under a new category of protection. It would be a historical site, a cultural heritage, a place that cannot be simply raised for profit. The economic incentives for keeping the Amazon's great secret a secret are immense. Furthermore, there is a possibility that the indigenous people themselves played a role in the cover-up. The oral histories of the Amazonian tribes speak of a time when the great civilization was destroyed by the very spirits they angered. These stories are a warning that the secrets of the jungle are dangerous, and that a powerful unseen force is still protecting the land from those who would exploit its knowledge. What if the tribes, knowing the true nature of the cataclysm, have been actively hiding the evidence from outsiders? What if they deliberately misled explorers, telling them stories of gold and magic to distract them from the real secrets of the land, the secrets of a vanished civilization and the powerful force that destroyed it? The cover-up, in this view, is not a single coordinated conspiracy, but a complex web of motivations. It is a historical consensus that was built on a flawed premise, a scientific community that was unwilling to admit it was wrong, a powerful economic interest that wanted to continue its exploitation, and indigenous population that understood that some secrets are better left buried. The Amazonian rainforest is not just hiding a lost civilization, it is hiding a fundamental truth about human history, a truth that was deemed too dangerous, too unprofitable, or too profound to be revealed. The jungle's green shroud is not just a natural phenomenon, it is a curtain, a veil, that was either deliberately placed or left to grow to hide a truth that could change everything we thought we knew about our past and our place in the world. We have reached the end of our journey. We have explored the hidden secrets of the Amazon, from the astonishing geoglyphs visible only from the sky to the subterranean networks of roads and canals. We've grappled with the mysteries of Terra Preta, the strange myths of jungle spirits, and the haunting possibility of a cosmic cataclysm. We've considered the deliberate cover up that kept this truth hidden for centuries. Now, we are left with a final, profound question. Could this rewrite history? The answer, in a single word, is yes. The implications of an ancient, advanced civilization in the Amazon are monumental. Our current understanding of human history, which places the birth of civilization in the Middle East around 50 to 60 years ago, is fundamentally challenged. The evidence we have uncovered in the Amazon suggests that human history is far older and far stranger than we were ever taught. It suggests that great empires and sophisticated societies rose and fell in places we thought were untouched wilderness. It forces us to reconsider the very nature of progress and to ask if civilization is not a linear march forward, but a cyclical process of rise, fall, and rebirth. This isn't just a minor footnote to be added to history books, it is a complete paradigm shift. The discovery of an advanced Amazonian civilization with mastery over bioengineering, large-scale construction, and environmental management changes our perception of ancient people from primitive to profoundly intelligent. It means that the people we dismiss as savage tribes may be the descendants of a highly advanced culture. It tells us that the legends of El Dorado and the city of Z were not fantasies, but fragmented memories of a forgotten reality. This is a truth that requires us to re-examine every aspect of our past, from the origins of agriculture to the development of technology. And what of the future? The story of this lost civilization is not just a historical curiosity. It is a profound and haunting warning. The evidence of a cataclysm, whether a cosmic event or a self-inflicted technological disaster, serves as a chilling reminder that even the most advanced societies are not immune to destruction. The Amazon's great secret is a cautionary tale about our own vulnerability, a lesson from our forgotten ancestors about the fragility of power and the consequences of hubris. The myths of jungle spirits and hidden guardians take on new meaning as a desperate message encoded in oral history, warning us to not make the same mistakes. The lost kingdom is gone, but its secrets remain. They are in the very soil beneath our feet, in the silent geometric forms that lie hidden in the rainforest. They are in the whispered stories of the indigenous people who have guarded this knowledge for millennia. And they are in our hands as modern technology finally gives us the tools to peer through the veil of time and witness a past that has been waiting to be rediscovered. The truth is no longer a matter of faith or speculation. It is now a matter of scientific evidence. As we continue to uncover these secrets, we must be prepared to accept a truth that is both humbling and terrifying, that our place in history is not what we thought it was, and that the greatest mysteries of our past may be lying in plain sight, waiting for us to be ready to see them. This isn't just a story about a lost city, it is a story about the lost chapters of human history, a history that is only now beginning to be written, and in the process, it may just change everything